Hello and welcome back to Tron Sports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, last time out I was building, or finished building, no, I did do the entire build, of the tool factory in, where is it? West Bromwich. And also did a design and a somewhat completed build, at least the layout, of the iron mine over here, just south of Lichfield and north of New Romney. This is not how it looks at the end of that video, and that is because somebody left a comment. I believe the name was Mr. Pizza 2000. I do apologise if I've got the wrong user, but you know who you are, so thank you to that person. And they suggested some sort of alternative. And this was the alternative they came up with, at least what I understand of it. This is the alternative that they came up with. So the idea was you run the entrance along the main line, peel it off, and then come around, and the exit goes underneath into the tunnel as it did before. So there is a split between entrance and exit. There has also been a change on the other side, which I will show you after the intro, which was part of the plan, but also I managed to sort out an issue I had. I had an idea of how do I solve one of the problems that I had with retaining walls, and I've got the idea, I've implemented it, I've used it, and it works. So that is great. In today's video, this is a big video. This is definitely a big video. I'm going to try and get all of this up and running, so that the first tools should be being produced in West Brom. Now, I think I'm probably going to have a second tools factory somewhere. There was an earlier suggestion of having it in Stratford, so I might do that at some point, but for now it's just going to be in West Brom. We're going to have some tools being created, and also that means that we should have the ability to get things going to Shepshed, where there is a machines factory that requires tools. So this is, as I said, a big episode. All the goods that every town now needs should be able to be produced for the entire map. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. And after this, it is really a matter of now expanding things. For example, adding a new factory in, going through the years, and maybe upgrading and improving the railways as we go along. In terms of builds, most of the things, 95% of it, is now done. Okay, so what I need to do here, there's a couple of things I want to do. I want to make something just down here, perhaps like a little conveyor station, as we've seen already. So one of these. This is what I want to make. So I want to make it pretty much at ground level, and maybe make it look a little, perhaps a little rustic, something like this. Now I'm hoping that this can handle, the theory is I'm hoping this can handle iron, which it should be able to. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop, we'll do what's the bigger cargo weight? Oh no, I do not want that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a couple of these, and we'll pop one here. I'm going to place another one perhaps out here. So this is going to be a little weird because I'm not sure how well this is going to work. But the idea is that I've got these two, and then up here, and this is where we need one that is up like this, And you'll notice that we've got some issues where I need to very carefully line this up. And I'd probably, let me place it about here, and I'm hoping, do we need that to be a depot? I'm not sure. Hoping that sort of looks okay. It does. So the idea here is the iron comes in here and gets dropped into the locomotive. So that's actually looking quite nice over there. I kind of want to get a screenshot of that. I was not expecting something to show up that would start really showing off the aesthetic of what I've been trying to do. Oops. That has done something. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, I've not sorted out that river, which, looking at this now, also probably needs to be sorted out in this particular... That's a bit too cloudy. In this particular episode, because it does sort of look out of place. But still, that looks okay. Let's go. And yes, this river is going to need sorting. I think I'm going to do that today as well. Straight after I've done this, that is what I'm going to do. Now, I've just noticed that this is the wrong... Okay, what I've done here is I've put the wrong kind of station in. This is a passenger station. That was stupid. Let's put a freight station in, shall we? There we go. What was the length of it? 300, I think. No, it's longer than 300. 400. Nope, 350. There we go. Okay, good. That other 10, 3, only connect. What's this in? Right, now that I've got the right one, we can try again. So again, the assumption here is, or that what we're going to pretend happens, is that one of these, trains come along here, go into this, and it's all dumped into the hoppers. Yes, hoppers. Now, the other thing I'm going to need is going to be no, it's on this. It's going to be a conveyor belt junction. So we're going to have a level 1 entry, a level 1... I assume that is what I need. Then where's the exit? Which one's the exit? Because I'm not entirely certain how this would work. Okay, hold on. Set everything to none. There we go. That gives me, there's a start. Okay, everything is now none. We're going to have 1 in. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Set angle to 0 for all of these to start with. And we'll place this. Should we place this up here? In which case, one of these, it's not that one, that one will need to be There we go. That is looking a little better. Who are you? No, you could be used. Who does not need to be there? Okay, two is useful. 1 is not. 3 is useful. Now again, this is not exactly how I would want things, but unfortunately I think this is maybe the best option I actually have. If anyone else knows a better option, please do let me know, and I will make adjustments. I will definitely make adjustments to this in order for me to do a better job. Let's try and do that. Try and make minimal bridge heights. So I want this to immediately connect up like that. I mean, that is something. That is definitely something. And then for this one, I want it to be... How are we going to do this? Maybe if we run it along here and do that. Okay, so we've got those two. And then lastly, we have... So the easiest way of me doing this, let's make that flat and somewhat shorter. Make this come out and, oh, that's fairly close. That is pretty good. And see what this connection... No, that was horrible. Right, we'll try again. Come on. Flat, and let's try it like that, shall we? Better. I'll take it. It isn't perfect, but I will take it. So that is our mess of an iron mine. I'm sure I could do something else with it. Maybe make some... Think. I know. I know what I can do. No, don't do that. Perhaps not the smartest thing to do, but no, you are now going to be cutting in as you work your way up through the iron mine. Find out how well this works. It isn't working all too well. Unless I did a loop all the way. I know what I'm trying to do. It's actually not... It's not panning out the way I want it to, simply because there's too much to... There's clearly way too much climbing to do. Okay, so as an idea, this is something that could also occur. Because that does then make it look more like a mine than anything else. I can even do off this, for example. Oh, that is no good. No, just go underneath it. That's it. That is what you're going to be doing. So we could do this and have that running along through. No. We're not going up. We're going to try and stay flat and running through to. Apparently this is fairly high up. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm sure I can come up with something. Let's do something with this. There we are. No, actually that would work. It isn't going to be used. Oh, it puts that in though. Is there a way for me to perhaps make this something else that would look kind of okay? No. I could just do this and select that, and that's not what I meant to do. There we go. That fixes that. And I suppose I could even start doing something along these lines. There. So that starts opening up certain areas, and then I can always smooth and cut and whatnot in this area. So if I were to smooth that side down like that, and it starts looking like, yes, things are clearly being done in this area. Yes, I suppose that it gives it something, just a little bit more to potentially work with. Maybe I can make a few more roads. Let me know in the comments box how you think something like that should pan out. Another thing I guess I could do, and this is just completely for decoration purposes. Let's just have one of these sitting, on this side? As if it is some form of a... bring that right down, I know what I'm going to do. As if this is some form of workshop or somewhere for... Oh, actually, that works really well, because it's 3 floors on this side, 2 floors on this side. All I need to do is just ever so slightly flatten that bit, and that actually does work. So it's like a cabin. There we go, for people to let's say eat their lunch in or something. They go here, they have some lunch, get on with part of their day, whatever it is, and that is what they do there. I suppose near these as well, we could just add some of these. We'll do some stone buildings, just sitting here like that. Just a little bit dotted around to give it some sort of a look. There we are. Okay, so now that we have that, the last thing that needs to happen, which is going to be really important, is I need to make the industry. And this is going to be a simple freestyle industry, which is going to have, we'll do 10 employees, it's fine, it doesn't really matter, but it's going to be a tiny little one It's an output. It outputs iron ore. And it connects, let's say, just about there. Then we'll have another one connecting. Turn this around. And it just connects there. Perfect. That should be able to get to here. So all I need to do is I need to set up. Now this is where these change. I can remove the depot on these because the depot is no longer needed. That one can have the depot. What I'll do is not select the depot. Select, no, not that. Which one is it? You? No, that's the depot. That. Oh, no, it is that. Okay. So I'll create a new line and we're going to call it, we'll have it in like a browny color. I wanted something a little bit more reddish for iron, but this will have to do. And that looks too gold. Let's just do that color and we'll call it, I need to find out what the stone ones are called. FRRD Barrack Stone 001. No, I don't think that's what it's called. There we go. FRCV. That is what it is. FRCV. FRCV. Iron ore 001. Since there's only going to be 2 of these and it's only in one location. FRCV. Iron ore 002. That can be a slightly darker color, and we'll go from there to there. Oh, that's working. Good. And for 001, it's going to be from there to there. And that is also working. Great. Okay. Then what I need to do is get the depot, and we are going to purchase. Let's purchase 50 of these. High maintenance, I guess. Send them on to that. And we'll purchase another 50. I've already got that. Another 50 of them. And we are going to send them on to that. Okay, so that's the first bit completed. So let's make sure that this actually starts working. Hello? I'm not sure what's going on here. They're supposed to be out and about. Where are you? Are you around? I don't see any. Perhaps they're invisible until something is being transferred. Oh, there they are. They are moving. I just do not see them. Interesting. Well, there we go. That's that. I'm just going to no, that's a wrong tool. I'm just going to smooth this bit out. I do not like the look of that. Just lift that up a touch and slightly larger. There we go. Smooth that out. Good. So a little tunnel. I've also put that in there. Now, I will say that this is not perfectly straight. I would have liked that to go straight out and turn, but because of the way this turns, I'm not entirely certain I can do that. And this is not, these two are not parallel to each other, are they? Or are they? Did I make them parallel? No, they're not. It's parallel. This is roughly parallel to that, which is not parallel to this, as you can see. And that is why we've got this kind of turn. I may need to make an adjustment to that. We'll have to see. Now, on the other side of this tunnel, which realistically could probably do with one of those chimneys. In fact, I'm going to put a couple of air shafts on this tunnel. If I know where it, I need to find out where this tunnel is. There it is. So we'll put a second air shaft just here. And of course, I have to paint this with, let's just put some gravel around it. Probably a good idea. One blob of gravel. That's too tiny a blob of gravel. Let's make a slightly larger blob of gravel. One blob of gravel there. And one blob of gravel there. Okay, just to give it a little bit of depth. It's in the wrong spot. That's poor. That's really poor from me. So what I'm going to have to do here is do that. Do that. Put the asset in where it's supposed to be. Check it. That is correct. Now go to the paint tools. Find the gravel. And put one blob of gravel in. Excellent. So that's done. Now let's have a look at the other side of... Did I actually have these tunnels in a different... I didn't know that the tunnel came in different colours. Yeah, they do. Of course they do. I think the dark brick is probably what I want. That's fine though. There we are. Okay, good. So, I need to put the gravel here too. There we go. So what I have now done on this side, and you can see it requires a little bit more adjustment and work, which I'll do now, is the tunnel comes out underneath, and instead of joining up on this side and crossing, now comes out underneath and has its own dedicated line. So if we were to double track this bit, it does not interfere with this. Now it isn't quite perfect, as you can see, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments today, but it does work. And also I get to put a good retaining wall on this. So the retaining wall I was trying to work on last time, here is a better one. And the way I did this is I used the trusty, one of the best mods ever, the marker node, clicked on a bit, lifted it up. I wonder if I could demonstrate this. Not sure if I could demonstrate this. Lifted it up quite a significant amount, removed, lifted the other side up, did a ramp equalizer, so then you ended up with a track that is incredibly high up, deleted the track, rebuilt the track, turns it into a bridge, selected the retaining wall. Once it was in, brought it back, and then selected outside of the bit that's raised on both sides, and job done. Just ramp equalized again, and that worked. Right, let me sort this out. So what do we have here that's causing issues? It appears what I need to do is, I'm just going to delete this and this. what I need to do is have this lined up here. Good. And then let that follow along. Is that fine? Is that too far away? That does seem a little too far for what I want. So what I could do instead is... Okay, this is what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to turn this. I'm going to try and keep this flat. See, there it wants to start connecting up to it. I'm not going to let it do that. I'm actually going to stay flat, and I'm going to just very carefully try to line this up about there. And then I'm going to attempt to maybe do that. That would be the attempt. Why is this going so slowly? I know why that's going so slowly. I have got the wrong speed on that bridge, haven't I? Yep, wrong speed on the bridge. It's supposed to be a 40 mile per hour bridge. Let's go ahead and get that upgraded. There we go. All of this is also going to have to be 40, so might as well upgrade it now before I do indeed forget. Same thing for this. 40 up to, actually up to there. And I'm going to actually slow that down, probably 25. And I have 40 out of there. There we go. That seems smarter. Okay. Let's have a look at how this is now looking. Better. Much better. Still want... Rather that was a bit of a straight... I would rather that was a straight line. It's the way the double track is over here that is causing issues. This is going to end up changing. I'm certain of it. This is definitely going to end up changing. But for now, it can remain as is. So that should... Oops. That should be good enough to handle. So the outbound train would come along here and go that way. The inbound train comes along here, and the only place where it would cross is where it has a freight connection anyway. So it does not matter. I think that looks fairly reasonable. Now, of course, we have some issues here. I do not mind this cliff, but I'm not sure this likes it over here, as you can see. So I need to come up with something, some sort of a plan that's going to smooth this out for me. And in all honesty, my best idea is just to remove this and let it do that. And I can always paint the cliff face in once again. So I'll just bring this back all the way up to, in fact, just take this whole lot out, and I'll build it along this new path. That's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get the hedge. So you can see, even though I said we're getting all of the bits in, there's still some work that needs to be done. There's definite work that still needs to be completed. I should really pause this. But it is only a matter of a few more minutes, I would say, before we get to... That's more of a straight line. Before we get to do this. Now, thinking about this, maybe I should have done a path with this. That might have been a smart idea. Instead of doing assets, I should have done a path. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. See, now I can just do that. At least it connects up perfectly every time. The reason for it is because it would allow this embankment to stay as it is. But now I have this, which does look a little odd, and therefore I have to do that to try and remove it and make it look better. So you know what? Just in this area, just here, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to put this in. I know it's going to be there we go. I just think this is going to work so much better for this area. I just have to make sure it goes up the hill properly and allows me to do what I want it to do. Turn that into a straight line, please. There we go. So that builds that exactly the way I want it to be, the way I want it to be built. Now I can go to the paint tool and go to stone. No, rock. Rock. Now the question is, should I use that rock? 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 I do like this dark rock. This one looks nice. And we have parts of the UK that are like this, so I think that does look pretty good. I'm sure I can figure something out about how to blend it in here. Or something. I'll have to figure that out. I'll do some blending. So all the way along this. Maybe start adding a bit more. There we go. Actually, that sort of looks okay. I just need to blend it in the middle here. And I could probably do a bit more rock textures here and here. Along this and then blend it out. Okay, so I've got the rock. Now I'm going to go eraser, but very, very little. So I should start blending top bits out. There. And we've got a bit of rock here, which definitely needs to be worked on. I'm supposed to be getting trains running. What am I doing? Maybe I need to turn this into mud or something. That's what I think I'll blend it with. I'll blend it with a bit of mud. Same for this bit here. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. We'll go soil, and again, just a bit of that blend there. A little bit more here. Touch there. Then it becomes rock. At the top of this, same sort of concept. Just along the top of that. Going into that. It might look a little rough, but probably the best I can do. Given I do not want to spend much more time on this. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look the best, but it doesn't look bad. Of course, once you do that, that does also start helping. Okay, that's that done. Let's actually start getting a few other bits in. I've already made this. This is now connected and works, so you can see all of these do connect. So hopefully that should do the trick. I need to get a train going from here to here. I know that's all wrong. I'm going to figure this one out. So you need to go past this. Okay. Does that get the loop correct? It does. Yes, the loop is now, oh, not quite. No, it is. The loop is now correct. Good, so it goes that way, goes through there, round there, out through this, goes around, stops at the moment on the farthest platform, which is fine. Then goes back and comes along to here. That seems okay. Yep, that seems it's not much of an issue. That might be an issue. I'm going to put a signal here, though. That might be an issue. We have a signal down at the end, so that is fine. Good. That is one done. The next one I need to get done is going to be the coal. Now, I could take the coal all the way from here directly to this. How would that work, though? So train comes along here. Oh, there's no direct path. Ah, there is no direct path for this. I would have to create a brand new section of track going this way. And that's unfortunate, to get the coal directly from there. Directly from there. That really is unfortunate. Okay, so instead we are going to build a new line from here to, which one is it? In here. We'll have this one in some sort of a grey. I'll have to work out exactly how this route runs. Probably needs a crossover somewhere. I'm not entirely keen on this side. As you can see, I've not done this last bit. That's okay. There is a potential for a crossover to be added right here. I'm going to have to change these speeds as well. These speeds are appalling. Okay. We'll work this out. So I've got that. That can then go on either side. Fine. So that's that done. And then this one will send things to West Bromwich as required. I'm going to have to set up, then I'm going to set up a separate train that can bring these goods to West Bromwich or just pick up things. Maybe just, yes, actually sends things there and picks up tools. Maybe that is what I need to set up as well. So I'm going to get one of those running. I know I've just called these line 1, 2, 3, but that's, for now, that will have to do. I want it in... Oh, this is all so complicated now. Maybe I shouldn't have done all those extra lines. Such a mess. But first off, I know I want this in platform 2. I have this in purple because it might be a little bit more, it's not more visible. What am I talking about? That seems somewhat visible. Is double track the whole way. It is happy with that. Goes through the middle. I really need these to go along here. But can it get into where it needs to go if it does that? Yes, it can. And honestly, on the way out, please go this way too. Just keeps it out of the way of of the passenger routes as best as possible. That is, of course. That is messy. That is one messy setup. Okay, let's start naming these. So this is FRA West Brom Tools. This is FRA Steelworks Coal. And this is FRA Steelworks Iron. Okay, now let's get these sorted out. So, Steelworks Coal. Let's just focus on just that. Figure out what it's doing. So, I'm okay with it going up there, but why does it stay? Okay, I think it's got to do with the fact that it's over here. So, if I put it onto platform, let's put it onto platform 4, shall we? With potential for platform 5 if it needs it. Okay, that's that. But then it gets stuck over there. Why is that a thing? Why and how have I made a mess of this? And why did I never fix it? It says there is a way to fix this, right? There's the way to fix it. So that allows an in and an out. Why are you doing this? Come in. Okay. This is going to take a few more minutes. There we go. Come in through there. Go out through there. Now we are talking. So it just stays clear even though it's on a single. Goes through this, not a problem. Goes through this, not a problem. Then it does that. No. Stop doing that. Go the way you're supposed to go. There we go. Okay. You are now staying on both sides. That is much better. Because of the amount of traffic here, I'm going to have to work something out. About here, we are going to need another set of signals. There we go. That should ease that up. In fact, no, for that one, we need the signals maybe about here. That's the wrong side. Get rid of that signal. Okay, now we get to see what happens there. This grey is no good. There we go. That is much better. And you know what? Take platform 3. Why not? I've got that because West Goods just goes barreling through platform 2. That looks good. You are on platform 1. Let's have a look at you now. You seem to be okay. I think, yes, you seem to be doing what you need to do. I'm not against any of this. Autosave, good. Wait, is there a better way to do this? There is not. Not at the moment, anyway. There will be, but there isn't at the moment. Now, because of traffic, well, we cannot do that because this is a block. I cannot have traffic stacking up in a block. Rubbish. This is going to be a bit of a problem getting trains through that. And then we've got this entire section here, which should be absolutely fine. And should we need to, that's there. I can put, I'll just put some shunting signals here. There we go. That's that done. So that clears that. That looks okay. Speeds. Next thing I need to check, speeds. So not 10, but 25, please. $25 up to there. Will that accept a 25? Probably not. Okay, so that is 25. Good. This is all 40, as expected. Then we've got this weird bits of 5, which is going to have to change. So these are supposed to be 25, not 5. Yep, 25 into 10s. That is what I want to put. And where should we put 25 here? Other side of, let's do that. Let's do that, and this bit should be 40. So I can mark the 25 just there, do back to 25. 5 on that is fine, 10 on that is fine, 10 through there is fine. That's 20. 25, please. Maybe I should have done 20. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. There we go. What's that 20 for? Oh, that's the 20 that's peeling off in that direction. That's not an issue. And really, it should be 25 from this point. That's not what I wanted to turn into 25, but it's fine. That isn't going to be touched, is it? 25 there. 20. This is going to change. And then this bit should all be 40. Something here is not the right speed. Oh no, it is. That's fine. 40, 40 going in. Apparently that is 75, which I'm not. Why have I done that? Probably going to change that to. I'm going to drop that speed a bit for normal trains to 60 from here. Don't even think I've got a marking for that being 75. No. Right, you are at 60 from, in fact, I guess I could say you're 60 from this junction. There you go. Right, hopefully, that's a 52 is fine. Now we should have a bit more understanding as to what goes where at what speeds. Apparently I have the station at 75. That's fine. I'll just put this all the way down, all of this to 60. And then it goes back down to 40 and then up to 75. And yeah, this is a bit, I would say this is a little bit messy. So I'm going to have to start reworking this. But I am coming up to the end of this video. And I did say I'd have the trains running, so I need to do that. I need to get the trains running. There we go. That's across there. That's across there. Okay. That's a little bit more like it. Yes, that's a little bit more. That's a little bit better. Get rid of that. For now, I'm just going to build this. For now, I'm just going to build it like so. Good. And tell you what, let's get the trains. No, I need to get signals up first. Cannot have trains without the correct signals. And we're going to put those high signals up here, is the question. I could. Or I can just put some shunting signals in. Let's do these for this yard. Come on, work. There we go. That's that side. And the same for this side. Okay, that's that lot done. Of course, I haven't set the most important one up. And that's the steel. That's the tools going out. Need to set that up. Completely forgot about that. This side doesn't need signals. That looks okay. Let's go ahead and set that final line up. New line. This needs to go Oh, this is all getting very, very convoluted. Let's make that not that blue, not that purple. I'm running out of red. We'll use red. Let's see if it can take platforms 1, 2, 3. It can take... That's not... No, that's not what I want. Or could I make it... Hang on. If it comes in here, where does it... it only allows it to go there. But I suppose this is going to be the last of the large trains that goes this way. Maybe one more, but that is going to be the last of them. So... Which... Everything is starting to lag. Those 3. Can you do those 3? Yes. But would you be ever so kind as to go past that? You would. Lovely. So that does that. This is all okay still. This is all okay still. All the way in. Goes here, peels off here, and then does that, which I'm okay with. Let's get that into... let's do that. Slap bang in the middle. Good. So that is that one, and I'm going to call this FRRA Steel. What did I call the other ones? I need to check this now. West Mersey, Marshalling Yard, Bricks, Marshalling Yard. Okay, that's what it is. So it's going to be West Mersey, Marshalling Yard, Steel. I think that is what it is going to be required to be called. Right. Now that that is done, perhaps this is... I know I've said that this is all going to be up and running. This is not up and running. I've just smacked my hand on my keyboard. That bit is running. Let's at least get the trains, some of the trains up. Let's get these trains figured out. So where are they going to be coming from? Where's the nearest depot they can run in from? I suppose the depot they are going to have to run in from is this one here. Okay, there's still trains here. Let's go ahead and grab something. So, probably going to need some pretty hefty... That's not hefty. I'm going to need some very, very heavy trains. That's passenger services. Nope. That is for heavy freight use. There we go. That is looking like the one I might want. It's either that or these. These are passenger or mixed services. These could be mixed goods. That's a freight. They're tank engines. That isn't going to help. Welsh coal trains. Okay. That could work. That could actually work. Let's do that for the iron train, shall we? So for the first iron train, we will have, Let's just have a whole bunch of these. Just keep it nice and simple. I want it to be 315 yards. Can I get a little bit more out of it? Let's try 332 yards. See what comes up. So we'll do that. Select that. Make that very high. Send it off on Steelworks Iron. We'll see what that does. I could buy a second one of these to transfer coal over to the steel mill. That seems like a wise idea. That does seem like a good idea. I'm going to do that. Let's do that. And that is going to be for Steelworks coal. And then I need to get rid of all of these because now we're going to have a steel train. And the steel train is going to be quite large. So for the steel train, I'm going to need something with a lot of hauling power. I mean, this has quite a lot of tractive efforts. But is there anything more powerful than that? Apart from that. You know what? Let's try and take one of those, see what happens. And this is for steel, which apparently can be hauled in some of those, but really I'm looking for these. I might add a couple more of these things in. Yeah, the main bit is going to be this. Oh, that's longer than I wanted it to be. Let's take some of those away. 472 yards. This is effectively going to be the maximum size of a train I ever run. That is what I'm going to do. And you are going to be on that line. Okay. And then there was one more, wasn't there? There was this one. What am I going to do with this one? So that's West Brom Tools. That's the other one that I need to do something for. And this goods yard is not very large. I need to just get a quick measurement of the size of this goods yard. Well done. It's approximately 200 yards. So I'm going to try to get a 200-yard train in. Nope. Let's buy a train. Steam. Let's go for Small Prairie. Passengers and freight. It says mainly on branch lines. I mean, that's, yeah, let's do that. Let's take one of them. And for the cargo for this one, it is. So that takes tools, takes steel. So we'll grab maybe a few of those. That's only tools go out, but it can take some things in, goods in. So that's good. But it is the fact that I need steel is quite important. What is it that I've set that up to be again? Planks. It also needs planks. What else sends in? What can take planks? Only these. Blast. I've set myself up to fail here. I've definitely set myself up for failure. Well, I guess that is going to be it. There we go. 145 yards. One of those. Off you go. West Brom tools. Okay. Now what I need to do is make sure certain things cannot do certain things. So, for example, you can only unload tools. You can only load steel, planks, and goods. There we go. Over here, you can only load tools. And you can only unload, well, actually, I could have had it unload everything because it doesn't matter. There. That's one done. Should probably get these trains out and about. Here come the first of the trains. Lovely. I should probably set that as well. This is the steel train. I need to set that route, manage line. You can only load steel and you cannot unload anything. And here you cannot load anything, but you can unload steel. There we go. That's a start. Probably do the same for, let's just sort these out. Whilst I'm here, whilst we're waiting for this, you can only load coal from here and you cannot unload anything. It doesn't matter, you're going to do that, but you cannot, just to make sure, you cannot load anything. You can only unload iron. And here you cannot unload anything. You can only load iron. There we go. And just for completeness sake, you can only unload coal. Look at the size of this train. This is the longest train I've had, and it will remain the longest train. Is it starting to move? It is. I need to put the speed signs up. Going to do that, and that's an interesting one. I do like this cloudy morning preset. It does look much nicer. Or it does look quite nice. Not much nicer than anything else, but it does look quite nice. Just look at the size of that train. I'm going to see if I can get it to an angle where I want to try and see as much of the train as possible. Perhaps change it to a 55mm. Possibly. It's still going. 35 mil? That might do the trick. I still haven't got to the back of the train. Just to keep showing you, back of the train is about to leave now. This is going to be one excellent view through. Oh, can I get something? Sorry, Mum. Went straight through your arms there. Didn't mean to do that. Now the question really is all of this going to work? I'm just going to wait for this to go through. Still going. Still going. Still going. Still going. Still going, and there's the back. I think that's pretty good. Of course, this needs to get onto the right side. I hope it does. No, this isn't good. It's on the wrong side completely. But I am just looking for any opportunity here to take screenshots of this particular train. Because I do think it looks... it does look pretty good. Just overall with how big it is. There we go. So, right, I think that is where I'm going to end this video. Obviously, there's another train waiting to be released. That one's going to be going to the West Brom. Then there's another train behind it. That's going to be going to the iron mine, right? No, that's the coal mine. And then there is another train behind that. This is all going to take a little bit of time to feed through. There's no point waiting for it. And you'll see that there should be nothing for the steel, which is good. But over here, we should start seeing things building up. If they don't, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. I am a little bit concerned. It's fine. I'm sure things will work out. So, for now, thank you very much for watching. I do think this village is looking okay now. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. This is what I should have done with the iron ore mine. In fact, yeah, this is what I should have done. I'm sure I can probably make something a little bit more like that out of some of these areas. Just line things up. I'll have to have a look. I was supposed to do that river, never got around to doing that. But yes, like, comment, subscribe. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That looks pretty good. That is all from me for an episode in which something's actually decided to spawn out here. For an episode in which some of the final industrial bits have gone in. But yes, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time, where it is going to be a matter of testing this, making sure it's all working, and I think it is probably time to start optimizing some of these routes. So yes, make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll see what I can do with the optimization, which will probably take a few episodes. This area in particular needs a lot of optimization, and I can put one of those overhead gantries on this, just like that. Just like that one there. Who are you and where are you going? Oh, I was going to say, who are you and where are you going? You're the 500-yard train. That is just entering. Yep, that is just entering the marshalling yard. Right. Anyway, yes, as I said, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Tron Sports Fever 2, the UK modded series. If you have any ideas, please do let me know.